Hey guys, we're back to walking for our health. Let's talk about something that I don't hear a lot of people talk about. I think the term that people use lately is maladaptive daydreaming, but I'll just say daydreaming or fantasizing. So if you find yourself, I'm so out of breath, Lord, I need to lose weight. If you find yourself constantly daydreaming about your life and what it would look like, what you would be like, what cars you would be driving, where you would be living, how much you would be traveling, or whatever it is, your body, what it would look like, how much you would be achieving, how many goals you're achieving, how productive you are in a day, how much of a leader you are, whatever it is you're dreaming about. If you find yourself constantly daydreaming about that, if you're constantly dreaming about things like that, or a certain persona, then it must be because it's something or someone you would actually want to be. So, in your head, you have probably created your dream person. Exactly how you see yourself, exactly how you want to be, exactly how you want to look, the kind of job you want to have, the kind of life, the kind of marriage, the kind of family, the kind of spouse you're trying to be, the kind of parent you're trying to be, career, goals, weight, everything, right? Even for a Christian, you know, the kind of relationship that you want to attain with God. But if you're constantly finding yourself dreaming about this rather than working on it, that's a problem. And this is a problem I hadn't seen as a problem until recently, as I'm finding myself just constantly daydreaming the day away rather than working on becoming that person for real. So I'm just always daydreaming about this perfect version of myself, and I don't really take the time to work on her because I spend the whole day just daydreaming about this version of me. The problem with this is that you're never going to achieve that goal. You're never going to become that version of yourself by just dreaming about her. The only time you're supposed to be daydreaming about this version of yourself is when you're creating your prayer board, your vision board, putting down who you want to be, saying what you want to achieve, and then reminding yourself daily in your daily affirmations. But as you're going through the day, you're supposed to be working towards that. So if there's a certain level of fitness you want to achieve, you have to plan for it. You have to set up a time in the day when you work towards that goal. Rather than dreaming about it, the time that you would spend thinking about it and daydreaming about it is a time you could spend actually working on it. So rather than dreaming about being this really big, successful influencer, you should be getting up and creating content that will get you there. Instead of dreaming about having this tight, close connection with God, you should be waking up early to create that. We need to stop dreaming about the things that God wants for us and start working to have them. You see, He's done His part in giving us the vision, in giving us a dream, in giving us an idea, in giving us promises in His Word as to what He plans for us and what His ideal is for us and how much He loves us and how He always has our back. He's already done His part by showing us who we could be if we rely on Him. We have to do our part by starting to take action. Because it's actually insane and super embarrassing how much time we will spend thinking about who we want to be and then just going back on our phones and scrolling on TikTok and scrolling on social media, just looking at how others are achieving those dreams and wishing it was us, but still not getting up and doing it. Like the devil really has us in a chokehold with just imagining things rather than working on them. Help us, Jesus. It is time for us as children of God to realize the danger in being in a constant state of imagination, because the reality could be so much better than what you imagine, only if you start working on it. Becoming fit will only happen as I get up, I walk, I drink my water, I do what I have to do, I abstain from sugar as much as possible and do what I have to do. I cannot keep looking at these supermodels and wishing I look like that when I just stuff in my mouth whatever I want. Daydreaming has a price, and it's one that is far too high to pay. It is one of stagnation, and it is one that robs you of your time to do what you're actually supposed to be doing. This will lead to feeling dissatisfied and unfulfilled with your life because you know there's far greater for you. And you know there's much more that you could achieve because God has already showed it to you, but you're not working on it. So instead of daydreaming, what can we do? First thing we're going to have to do is recognize whenever we start daydreaming and will ourselves to stop. I've become so addicted to the fantasy life that whenever I catch myself doing it, I just kind of want to finish the fantasy because it's so good. You know, that version of myself is just so good. It's so powerful. It's so accomplished. It's so good looking. It is so perfect. It is who I want to be. So I just want to stay in that fantasy and create the life in my head. And even when I catch myself doing that, I don't want to stop because it feels good. So we have to call it sin because it robs us of our time. And we have to give it a label and say, this is sin. And it's not something I want to continue participating in because it robs me of my time and of my goals. And once you've called it sin, you just have to surrender to God and ask Him to help you to work on your reality rather than in your dreams. You can handle it, you can achieve it, but you have to surrender your will over to God. When you catch yourself daydreaming, stop and tell yourself that that version of yourself can become a reality if you get up now and will do what you have to do. I believe in you. We're all going to try, and we're returning back to love. See you in my next video. Bye.